Good morning, everybody. It's Math Monday, and we are starting a whole new week of week 6. How exciting! So, for week 6, for Math Monday, it says, how many ways can you sort objects in your home? So, sorting objects, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a couple things. So, here's our worksheet that's attached to it. And I'm going to show us how to fill this out in just a little while. But I'm going to talk about this here. It says sorting objects. It says use the word bank to help write sentences of what you sorted in your home. And in the word bank, there are two spots, okay? One is something called the object, something in your home. The next is a word called attributes. Can you say that word with me? Attributes. Okay. And we learned about this long time ago when we practiced our sorting, but this is a great review. How did I sort my object? An attribute could be the color, the shape, how big it is, how small it is, how tall it is, how short it is, how heavy it is, how hard it is to lift it, or maybe how light it is, how easy it is to lift it. Maybe it's shiny or something that's not shiny, okay? Here's some ideas of objects in your house. There are many other things that you could do, but you could sort books or toys, games, different cereals, shoes, shirts, hats, socks, pictures, crayons, a lot of different things, okay? So I'm going to show you 3 different objects that I am going to sort, and I'm going to tell us about the attributes, and then we're going to fill this part in a moment, okay? Here we go. So for my first object that I'm going to sort, you could probably figure it out. It's some of my shoes that I have, okay? Right now they are not sorted at all, but there's quite a few different ways that I can sort them. But I just wanted to show us what my object is, okay? So now I get to decide what attribute I want to choose. I could choose the color of the shoes, and I could sort them into groups that way. I could sort them by how tall they are or how short they are. So I could put the tall shoes in one side and shorter shoes on the other side. So so now I've sorted my shoes into 2 groups. Can you figure out what attribute I used? Yeah, if you said that it was based on height, how tall and how short the shoes were, you got it, okay? These shoes over here, these 2 are shorter. They're called low top shoes because they don't go past your ankle. But these 4 over here are called high top shoes, and they go past your ankle. So they are meant, because these are basketball shoes, they're meant to go over your ankle to give you some more support, okay? But these ones over here are short. So I did it, my attribute, by how tall and short. So I sorted them by height. How about this one? Can you figure it out? I sorted my high top shoes again. Okay, I left my low tops off for this one. I sorted my 4 shoes in a certain way. I used a certain attribute. Can you figure out what I did? I've got 2 over here, and I've got 2 over here. What was the attribute? Well, if we think about it, we have to make observations of it. We have to actually use our eyes to figure it out, okay? I notice that all 4 of them on the tongue, they have a logo. There's a Superman logo here, an University of Oregon Ducks logo here, a Stephen Curry, that's my favorite basketball player, and another Superman logo. So that wouldn't make it. That doesn't make sense. Because there's Superman here and Superman there. Wouldn't they go together? I could sort them that way, but I didn't for this one. I could look at the color of the shoes, okay? I noticed that these 2 have a lot of white on their shoes. But then these two, I noticed, have a lot of green. So that is the attribute that I used. I used color this time. And I said, I'm going to group my 4 shoes. 2 are going to be over here because they're mostly white. And then I used these 2 together because they have a lot of green in them. Okay. The Superman shoes have a lot of green in the laces and on the sides, while the Oregon Ducks Nike shoes have a lot of green on the top, and their laces are green. Okay, but over here, most of the shoe is white, especially the tongue up here and in the toe box area is all white as well. Okay. Now let's try a different object. For this object, can you figure out what it is? Why did Mr. Simonson choose this? Well, what is it? That's right, it's a comic book, okay? And these comic books are from my friend Carter, who gave them to me for Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you so much, Carter. I love these comic books. And I love them so much, I'm using them in this sorting video, okay? Right now, they're not sorted at all. I just took them out and I put them up here to show us. But now I'm going to sort these comic books. Okay, I've sorted my comic books. I'm going to give you a moment to look at them and try and figure out what is it that Mr. Simonson did. I'm going to give you a hint. This is not an attribute that's on our word bank. This time I did an attribute based on a letter, okay? A letter being that all of these down here have a letter that keeps repeating on all of their covers, but these ones on the top do not have that same letter. They're a different letter, okay? Can you figure it out? Which letter did I use? That's right. On the bottom here, each of these covers all have the letter X on them. There's an X here, 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 a big one here, and another big one here. These are all X comics, okay, from the X-Men. They all have the letter X on them, okay? But these 4 on the top here do not have that letter. So I grouped them not by color or by how tall or short they were or how heavy or light. I did something else. I sorted them by letter this time, okay? Next thing that we're going to look at is a different object. Okay, for our last object that we're going to look at. What is it? That's right, they're pens, okay? So these are just a bunch of pens that I have in a cup that I use at home for different things. Now, how could I sort pens? Pens are all about the same height and length. So that's not really going to work. They're about the same length. So what's something that I could use? I'm noticing that they're all different colors. So that's how I'm going to sort mine, based on colors. Okay, here we go. I sorted my pens, and I sorted them by color. So let's go through the colors. We've got green, pink, red, 2 black, and then this one here. Why is this one all by himself? That's right, it's because it's blue. It's a blue pen. Okay, so there's no other blue pens, so it's all by itself. Okay, now I've sorted it by an attribute, color, and we've done that a couple times. We've done that with shoes. Now we've done it with our pens as well. So we've done different objects. Now our last part is to write it in on the worksheet. Okay, so we just went ahead and we sorted out 3 different objects. I did my shoes, pens, and comic books, okay? But if I look at my sentence frames, that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentence frames. So I actually need to go do 5 objects, and you need to go do 5 objects. But I'm not going to do the last 2 on these videos because we don't have enough time, okay? So what we're going to do now is I recreated the worksheet a little bit on my whiteboard. And we're going to read the sentence frame. I sorted my, and this blue line goes with my object. The green line is my attribute. Okay, so I'll start with my first sentence frame. I sorted my, first thing I sorted were my shoes. I sorted my shoes. And I actually sorted them in two different ways. But I'm going to pick the one that I started with last. I sorted my shoes by color. One had a lot of green. The other was white. So I did it by color. Let's do the next one. I sorted my... The next thing I sorted were my comic books from Carter. So I actually didn't use any of the attributes up here. I made up my own attribute, and that's something that you can do too. So I sorted my comics by, and what did I sort it by? That's right, I sorted it by letter. I sorted it by books with the letter X on the cover and books that didn't have it. And the last thing, I sorted my pens, and I sorted those also by color. We had groups there. Okay, there we go. So I would have to do 2 more objects, but I'm not going to do that in this video right now, but I'll talk about it in our Zoom session later. Okay? Have a great day, and it's time now for our story time. For story time today, we're going to read a story, a strawberry shortcake story called Best Friends Forever. This is one of my sister's favorite books because she loves strawberry shortcake. Welcome to Berry Bitty City. This is where Strawberry Shortcake and her best friends live. Strawberry owns a cafe where everyone in town likes to hang out. She's usually mixing up a batch of fruit-tastic smoothies and relaxing with her pets, Pupcake and Custard. Come on, let's go meet Strawberry's friends. This is Lemon Meringue. She gives the best manicures and hairstyles in town. That's why she has her very own beauty salon. Blueberry Muffin loves to read so much that she opened her own bookstore. It's the perfect place in Berry Bitty City to shop for a new book, use the computer, or write in a journal. Welcome to Orange Blossom's General Store. It's packed with everything anyone could ever need. Orange is also really handy, so if something needs fixing, she's the one to call. This is Raspberry Torte. She's super stylish and owns her own clothing boutique. Need a new skirt, costume, or fancy dress? Raspberry can whip up a design and sew it just about anything. Plum Pudding runs the dance studio in Berry Bitty City. Every week, Strawberry and all her friends take dance classes here. Sometimes it's hard to learn a new dance routine, but the girls always try their very best. Strawberry and her friends are always having fun together. Let's see what kind of things they like to do. Strawberry and her friends think sleepovers are very cool. When they get together, Lemon gives her friends makeovers, Plum teaches new dance moves, and Orange brings a funny movie for everyone to watch. Some days are just too beautiful to spend indoors, so Strawberry packs her friends a delicious lunch, and they go for picnics by the waterfall. Everyone loves being outside, especially Custard and Pupcake. Strawberry and her friends love to dress up as princesses, so Raspberry sews everyone sparkly gowns, and when the girls put on their dresses, they like to pretend to go to fancy balls. There's nothing like camping in Berry Bitty Grove. When the girls head out for an overnight adventure, they tell spooky stories around the campfire and they snuggle into their sleeping bags. At Plum's dance studio, Strawberry and her friends take dance classes and twirl and whirl across the dance floor. And sometimes they put on special ballet recitals for everyone in Berry Bitty City. When the weather is warm, Strawberry and her friends like to go to the beach. Lemon and Strawberry have fun splashing in the water. Orange collects shells while the other girls relax in the shade. Strawberry and her friends are always having very fun adventures, but the best adventure of all is simply spending time with your sweetest friends. The end. Thanks for reading that with me. Have a great day, and I'll see you again for All Things Thursday. Bye.